There was some parallel to how it went down in the anime, such as Death losing her left arm, and Akame using a trump card. Now, this month's Akame Got Killed was a story all on its own despite some serious parallels, but we did sadly have to say goodbye to our main protagonist, Tatsumi. I was hoping this wouldn't be the case, but in a series like this, one death flag is all it takes. Let alone the dozens of death flags we've been getting for Tatsumi. He's been triggering death flags every time he speaks, or at least for all of 2016. There's nothing but death flags for him, so yeah, his death was basically inevitable from the moment his armor started merging with him. But that does lead into two things, or at least the first of two things, that were specifically emphasized in this chapter. Some of them might have been emphasized previously, but this first one absolutely just came out of nowhere. And that first one is something that many of you may have been thinking about, and, due to the story, may have forgot about, due to the fact that it's never been fully mentioned, except for when they were first introduced. And yes, that is the true nature of Teigu, our Imperial Arms, as the dub calls them. It's finally touched upon how Teigu can affect their user. Not like touched upon as an explanation, but touched on the sense of, wait a minute, how have we not thought of this before? Because when the army is, watching Tatsumi become a dragon, they realize the armor has not only it has a mind of its own. That much has been obvious. But the fact that it's really just skin made into an armor, it shouldn't have that kind of ability. But thinking about it, they don't know why Teigu have those kinds of abilities to begin with. And if Incursio is just one of many. Because thinking about it, all Teigu should at least affect their user in some way, shape, or form. The main example this time was Leone's former Teigu, Lionel, which changes its user into a nigh-immortal, half-human, half-beast. Much more mysterious than a living dragon. 'Cause living dragon at least had that going for it. This was literally just a Teigu that did what it was supposed to. And what would the side effect of that be? Well, none of its users have really ever lived long enough to feel the said side effects, really. I mean, the one that we saw in Akame Got Killed 0, I don't even think we've seen his death, because I don't even recall where that series was last translated. You'd think a prequel to a series like Akame Got Killed would have been translated better. Hell, one of the chapters still looks like a shoddy shitstorm, period. But that might just be the author, so honestly, I don't know what the fuck going on with the prequel. But this isn't about the prequel, or at least I don't think it is. But no, I doubt we'll get much more insight into Teigu, though, before the story wraps up, only because there are two villains left. Two. There's not that much story left. And honestly, Esdeath will probably perish by the end of next chapter. Like, probably the end of the next chapter would be her death. Unless, more people step in and blah blah blah, fight continues on for one more month. And she dies with the new year. Either way, there's still not enough plot to outlast the exposition that we all crave right now. In the end, the true nature of Teigu isn't necessarily important to the plot, though. Like, given the nature of the series, it's not driven by the Teigu. It's enhanced by the Teigu, but it's not driven by it, no matter how you think about it. But it is sad. But we're going to leave that for now. Of course, you guys are more than welcome to comment on it, because why else would I mention it? Regardless, the second thing emphasized was the concept of assassination being separate from combat. Now, it's not the first time this has been emphasized. This has been shown many times, including Akame's skills as an assassin. But, we're all aware of her skills. And at the same time, as much as this is about assassination, sometimes this manga turns into more of a combat-esque series. And then, when it seems like it's becoming more combat-esque, with the Teigu on Teigu combat, Akame all of a sudden just, boom, one-hit kills her opponents. That's the whole purpose of, I think, of the power of her weapon in terms of story. I think it's to pull us back to the fact that they're an assassination squad. So this is pretty solid, just kill or be killed. Like, a comic got killed doesn't get more literal than that. She just, boom, kills sons of bitches. Like, what was the one that had the axe Teigu? You see why I can barely remember him? Because he barely got introduced. He was literally in the middle of, like, monologuing, and Akame is like, huh? Oh, was that a Teigu? Eh. So, yeah, we get further emphasis on assassination over combat this chapter, because rather than face as death in Mortal Kombat like we'd all love to see, because, you know, we're perverts like that. I mean, not perverts. You know what I mean. She's not, you know, going head to head. She's just circling around her like a vulture looking for its dead prey. Either way, she's looking for an opening in Esdeath as Esdeath takes on the rest of the Revolutionary Army. And she finds that opening. She does. She finds it very well, and she just nicks Esdeath's hand. Probably not the best move. You could have nicked her back. She can't amputate her fucking back, but her limb. I guess Akame wasn't thinking too straight, but she was definitely very focused on her target. But yeah, would have been much better nicking her in the back. Because the arm is just like, I don't know, it does two things. One, continues the plot. Two, it, you know, further emphasizes how much of a badass Esdeath is. Regardless, I don't really know how to feel about this, because it's a brilliant strategy at the cost of many lives, though. But it is very fitting as a final conflict, like, super fitting. And I can really admire how this final conflict is crafted, so that even those who've seen the anime don't know the whole outcome, because certain things have changed, but there's still little Easter eggs for the anime-onlys, or anime original viewers, or just the people who love the manga so much they want to view the anime. Me, I guess I peeked in and out, but personally, I am more or less a manga-only kind of guy. But not like manga only. I love anime, obviously. I mean, hell, how do most people come into manga in the first place? They're anime. Dragon Ball, mostly. But regardless, it's like two sides of the same coin. I favor the head of the coin, the manga. The tail side of the coin, the anime, mostly just used for, you know, seeing my favorite scenes in motion. But it's the age of internet. You look up one thing related to something that has both a manga and anime, Google's gonna pop you onto both sides. It doesn't give two shits what you like. People like, don't spoil this shit for me. Just go on Google, you'll get spoiled immediately. Turn on the internet, you'll be spoiled immediately. Maybe that's why my anime-only friends don't really use Google Chrome. Personally, I love it. But regardless, yeah, it's basically impossible not to see certain things you don't want to see, or just don't have the time to see, or just don't see, period. You're gonna see it. It's the age of Google. And normally I'd be like, fuck, but I'm not like others. I honestly think of it as something that helps me analyze the series I, review better, such as Akame ga Kill or Dragon Ball Super. Regardless, this was an amazing chapter, and I enjoyed every panel. And I went on too far, but either way, what did you guys think about the final bout? How do you think the final bout will go? What are your thoughts on the true nature of Teigu? Tell me in the comments below, and also don't forget to like the video and share it with your friends. If you're new here, then join this growing community, as we're going for 75 subscribers by Thanksgiving and 100 by New Year's. So feel free to check out all I have to offer. Most of my content is linked down below in the description, as well as links to the Twitter and Facebook page, and my new Twitch page, which I'll be occasionally streaming on like Saturdays or Sundays. So thank you for watching. I'm Smalls of Black Knight 94, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Smalls out.